Albóndiga soup is a comfort food for the rainy days or even when you're feeling sick. And this is the way that I prepare mine for my family. I use the following ingredients, the following vegetables that you see here. And then I add oregano to mine. I also use spearmint in the ground beef, but unfortunately I didn't have any fresh one or dried one. So I'm going to make the albóndigas without it. And then for the rice, it is 1 cup and 1/4 of rice with 3 cups of water. I'm going to simmer that for 11 minutes only because I don't want the rice to be fully cooked. While it's cooking, I'm going to start prepping my vegetables. So I'm going to go ahead and cut my Mexican zucchini, the carrots, the potatoes, and also the chayote. The chayote is a Mexican squash, or I guess we use it in Mexico a lot for a lot of the caldos that we make, our stews. And so red potatoes in this occasion. I'm also going to be using celery for flavor. And this is the rice. 11 minutes have passed. I'm only going to be using 1 cup for the albóndigas. So I'm just going to go ahead and drain the water from it. I also sliced the bell peppers, the red and the green, and the onion that I had left over. I'm going to saute all of those ingredients, and then this is 2 tomatoes. I removed the seeds, and now I'm going to go ahead and dice half of the onion very fine. The leftover rice that I had, I added some cinnamon sticks, some milk, and a little squirt of vanilla with 1/2 cup of sugar. And then I added a little bit, like 2 more tablespoons, so that will be dessert. Now here I have the ground beef, a little bit over 2 pounds. Now I'm adding the rice, the onion, and I'm going to add some garlic. I'm going to go ahead and make it into a paste. And then I'm going to incorporate that into the ground beef with the rice. This is 1 teaspoon of salt, and then this is another 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm getting a handful of baby spinach, and I'm just going to dice it and then chop like 4 times. And then first I'm going to mix all of the ingredients. At the end, I'm going to incorporate the spinach. Just folding it into the meat, setting that aside. This is 1 teaspoon of oil. I'm using avocado oil here, sauteing the vegetables for 2 minutes, adding the tomato, another 2 minutes. Now the chicken bouillon, 1 tablespoon of the chicken bouillon goes in. And then I'm going to add some water. I'm going to fill it up to 3 quarts. And then I'm also going to be adding 1 teaspoon of salt. Then I get some meat and then I put it in the palm of my hand and I roll it into a little ball and then put it in the broth, which is starting to simmer. And I just repeat the process until they're all done. I also now add the oregano into the broth. And then my vegetables, the potatoes and the carrots, I add those first because they take longer to cook. So I leave those in for 5 minutes before I add the rest of the vegetables that are only going to take about 3 minutes to cook. I then get my spoon and remove some of the fat from the top. I then get a fork and see if my carrots and potatoes are cooked. They're about 80% cooked. And this is the point where I'm going to add the chayote, which takes another 3 minutes, 4 minutes to cook. So if you see, I do the vegetables in stages so that way they don't overcook. I'm going to taste here for the seasoning. At this point, I can add salt, I can add pepper, or I can add chicken bouillon. Lastly, I'm going to be adding my zucchinis. Let everything simmer for another 2 minutes or so, doing the last cleaning of the excess fat to avoid heartburn. And now you have dessert. You also have your arroz con leche, and you just add some cinnamon to the top. Clean, delicious, comfort broth with vegetables, and it's ready to be served. Enjoy! Remember to like, share, and comment for more of my home cooked recipes.